is Vichtcha. I am the Business Development Community Relations Officer for Washington Savings Bank. And I have with me my colleagues here. We are all board members for the Mass Hire Greater Lowell Workforce Investment Board. We actually came together today to give you students and parents a few tips and pointers for the upcoming job fair at Lowell High School on April 16th from 3 to 5 p.m. at Lowell High School. Again, my name is Vichtcha and I'm with Washington Savings Bank, and this is Brandie. She is the Walmart General Manager in the Drumhill store. And then Katey, we have Katey, she is the General Manager for Holiday Inn Express in Chelmsford. Next we have David. He is the VP of Lending at Mills 42 right here in downtown. And last but not least, we have Harry, owner of Westford and Tingsboro, Mr. Max. First off, we are all here because we'd like to give the students a little bit of information to prepare you for the job fair coming up at Lowell High School. Now, if you have been to the job fair prior to this one coming up, you know that some of these students get hired right on the spot. So we want to prepare you for getting hired, prepare you for the interview process, for the questions that will be asked when you come to the job fair. So I'm going to start right off. First, how do you complete a job application? First of all, when you sit down with a job application, you want to read through the application thoroughly before you start writing anything down. You want to write clearly and neatly, answer all the questions truthfully and to the best of your ability. Avoid detailed negative answers. Reread the application when you are finished, and always attach your resume and references with your job application. Make sure that you apply for the job that you're looking to, that you're interested in, and please be specific on the hours and available time for that job, and when you can start. Let me see, what else? I would say definitely be prepared for detailed information on contact information for your references, phone numbers, email addresses. Make sure you have all that information for the application, so that way you can complete the application at the job fair and give it to the employer that you're applying with. So next off, potential interview questions. Now, this is going to be different depending on which employer that you're going to be sitting with, but as a student at Lowell High School or any student in the greater Lowell area, there are some potential questions that all employers are going to ask. For instance, can you tell me about yourself? You want to focus on your strengths. Don't talk not too much in detail about your weaknesses, but definitely highlight your strengths, your experience, your skills. Why do you want to work here? Be honest. What brought you to the table to fill out this application in the first place? What are your goals? You know, do you want to move up in the company? Have you been watching this company for a long time? Do you have friends, family working at this particular company? And what are your goals for yourself when you start to work here? And why should we hire you? Give an example as to why you think hiring you would benefit the company that you're applying for. How would your teacher describe you? So if you have a good experience or a good relationship with one of your teachers, all of your teachers, your counselor, maybe ask them a question prior to this job fair to say, you know, what do you see in me? What would you say would be one of my strengths? Let me see. Tell me about a time when you had a problem and how do you solve that? I think this question is extremely important in the working environment because you know, not everybody's going to be agreeable. Not everybody's going to get along. If it's in a retail position, not every customer is going to be really nice. Or even, you know, fellow employees. So how do you resolve those problems and situations that come up that will benefit all who are involved? Again, what are your strengths? Highlight, you know, your personality, your interpersonal skills, your communication skills. That's always important. And are you a team player? That is important as well. When you're working for a company, you're not just working by yourself. You're going to be working with fellow employees. You're going to be working with your managers, your senior managers, customers. So you have to be able to work in a team setting, but also be independent to make your own choices as well. So these are all potential questions that you may be asked on April 16th at the job fair. So please be prepared and maybe come up with a few questions of your own to ask yourself, so that you're prepared to answer these questions when the employer asks you. So that's it for me on my slides. And next we have Brandie.
Hi, my name's Brandie. I'm the store manager of the Chelmsford Walmart at the Drum Hill location. I've been with the company 20 years now, and I've been in that location for a year. Today I'm going to talk about things to remember in a job interview. First and foremost, it's very important to be on time or even arrive a few minutes early. When your interviewer greets you, you want to be thinking about your body language. You want to be confident. Posture is important, as well as a firm handshake. Those things really stick in the interviewer's mind. Your first impression is just that, guys. It's your first impression, okay? So you have to make it count. So some things you may not want to do during an interview. You do not want to bring friends and family with you. You want to make sure that you're there by yourself. This is your interview, okay? You want to refrain from wearing facial jewelry. Not all employers allow that. There's dress code rules at some places of employment. You don't want to chew gum or candy, and you want to refrain from any negative conversation, and you definitely don't want to talk poorly about your previous employer. Cell phones, guys, are a distraction, okay? So please, guys, just leave them off during your interview process. You do not want to be looking at that. You might lose train of thought, and it's just a really bad impression on your employer or potential employer. Okay, so what you do want to do, guys, is you want to smile during the interview process. You want to be confident and enthusiastic. When you're done with the interview, you want to stand up, you want to smile, and you want to give that firm handshake again so they remember you. And you ask them, tell them that you really want to hear from them soon. Okay, so how you close an interview. You really want to leave a lasting impression on your person that you're interviewing with. You want to confirm your interest with them. You want to ask what the next steps are. Sometimes people are in an interview process and they don't know what comes next. Don't be afraid to ask questions. When will I hear from you? Should I call you? And then you also want to remember to shake hands, and that firm handshake again. And you always want to thank for the opportunity for the interview. That's all I have.
Thank you, Brandie. Katey?
My name is Katey. I am the general manager at the Holiday Inn Express in Chelmsford, and today I'll be talking about a couple of things that's really important for interviewing. One thing is the dress code. You have 5 seconds to make a first impression, so dressing for success is very, very important. Your appearance tells the employer how you see yourself. Your clothes, hairstyle, choice of accessories, and makeup will either reinforce or damage your professional image. Strive to dress professional without overdressing. Do not wear jeans, shorts, sweatpants, anything strapless, hats, clingy tops, flip-flops, or leggings. Wear clean and appropriate clothes that are ironed, and you just really want to look very nice and professional. Additional tips, just wear solid color clothing, limited jewelry, minimal like colognes and perfumes, no visible body piercings or tattoos, well groomed, and no makeup that glitters. Another important thing is posting on social media. Social media mistakes can disqualify you from a job. So definitely you want to think before you're posting on social media, because a potential employer could be looking at your social media prior to making a decision on hiring you, and it's just very important. So here's a list of potential employers, what could be viewed as like a red flag in making a decision not to hire you. If you're using vulgar or offensive language, do not complain about work or past work experiences. You're under the influence. You are all about selfies. Your followers are not real. No discriminatory comments about race, gender, or religion. Do not involve yourself in inappropriate behavior like drinking or using drugs. Drama posts are a big red flag, so definitely just kind of be aware of what you're posting and think before you're posting on so all the social media. All right. And that's all I have.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Katey.
Thank you, Katey. My name is David. I work at Mills 42 Credit Union right in downtown Lowell. I could actually say that I went to the job fair back in 2007 when I was still a senior at Lowell High, and that's how I got the job at Mills 42. So I could definitely say that this really works. And if you just give that good impression, just like you guys said, and you get the job, it's really good and really, it works very well. Once you give your resume to an employer, if you have to get in contact with them, I'm going to talk to you about the things that you should be doing if you want to communicate through email. One of the things that you should do is if you have an email address that's not very professional, I would just go ahead and create a new email that sounds more a professional email, like with your name and last name, so that when we employers receive your email, we know that it's someone serious, someone professional, and someone ready to get the job. Make sure you spell the email correctly, okay, when you email someone. Obviously, you want them to receive the email, so make sure that the email is correct. You shouldn't be typing the email as you're chatting with a friend. It needs to be a formal email. If someone could help you, just look at it to make sure that everything looks good. Maybe a teacher, maybe your counselor. That's very important too, because again, when we receive the email, if we see that it's not properly typed, we might just go ahead and delete it. So then your job, it's no longer an option. Include a subject line. I feel like your name should always be on the subject line, and maybe just say employment request, or again, just confirm with someone that a teacher, and they should be able to tell you or help you with what the subject line should be. If you have to get in contact with this employer by phone and you want to leave a message, when you call the company, make sure that you express who you are, the reason why you're calling, okay? If this is through a voicemail, just make sure you say your name, introduce yourself with details. You could also say that you have provided your resume and you wanted to find out if there was any updates on that application. Leave your contact information so they could call you back. Make sure your name and the phone number is clear so that when we receive that message, we know exactly how to call you and where to call. You have to speak slow, clearly, and professionally. And remember that all employees will return your phone call. Well, they should return your phone call, even if it's to say, no, thank you. They should always call you back. Now, once you get the job, I'm going to talk to you about how to keep the job. One thing that it's always very important, you have to be on time. Just like you guys said, being on time, if you start at 9 o'clock, just be there at 8:45, not even at 9 o'clock, because then you're late. You should always be 15, 20 minutes before the start time so that you could get prepared, so that you know exactly what's going to be your job and things like that. You have to work hard and complete your assignments. If they tell you to do something, just do it. Don't ask. I guess you should ask why sometimes, but once you start, just get to the job, just focus, try to learn as much as possible, and just do whatever they ask you to do. Keep your eyes open and just don't be on the phones. Like you guys said, the phone is the one thing that leave it in the car. So I guess sometimes that works. Just leave your phone in your car so that you could be focused at your job. You always have to keep a positive attitude. Attitude is really important, just like when you go for the interview. As soon as you walk in, that attitude shows a lot of someone. So make sure that that's always very clear. Obviously, do not swear. I think that's common sense. You shouldn't be talking and swearing in your workplace. And if you, for any reason, if you're sick or whatever the case might be, if you need to stay home because you're sick, try to get a doctor's note, something that shows that you actually stayed home because you were sick and not just because you wanted to do something with your friends and stuff. And I think that's it for me. I'm going to give it to you, Mr. Mack.
Thank How you doing, guys? My name is Harry Cheema. I'm the owner of Mr. Mac's Macaroni and Cheese Restaurants located in Tingsboro, Mass. and Westford, Mass. So now you have the job, and I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about the responsibilities that come with having a job. So know what hours you can work. Make sure you take into consideration your school schedule, your homework, finals, midterms, whatever that looks like, and then also your extracurricular activities. If you're an athlete or if you're part of any clubs, make sure you know how much time commitment those responsibilities take. But also be honest with the manager that makes your schedule, the manager on duty. So if you say, hey, I'm available all day Saturday and Sunday, that doesn't mean that you're going to work from 8 a.m. to, let's say, 10 p.m. That just shows the manager that you can work in those hours and they can schedule you in those without any conflicting issues that you might have with other activities. Also be willing to learn, not just how to do the job, but be willing to learn with the managers that you're working with. These people have already been in your shoes, and maybe you want to find out how they got into their position, and maybe that's an opportunity for you to grow in that company. So be willing to always listen to the managers, to your coworkers, and be willing to learn on how to expand or grow. Concentrate on your job. It's very easy to get distracted with a coworker or maybe a friend who's a colleague of yours. You got to remember it's a job, and you are there to keep and meet those standard operating procedures. So make sure you're concentrating on what your task is at that moment. And then own up to your mistakes. Nobody is perfect. So if you make a mistake, be honest with the manager and let them know what you did, and then learn from it. Don't make that mistake again. Do quality work. As I mentioned, you got to focus and concentrate and work hard. Try to have the attitude to do extraordinary work. So don't just think, hey, it's just a job. I go there, I put in my hours, I get paid, and I go home. You are making a difference. No matter what industry you're working in, you are making an impact on your coworkers, your managers, your customers, and so truly take pride in that. Prepare to be flexible. Just because this is your shift, maybe you might have to come in a little bit early or stay a little late depending on what's happening with the business. So be flexible with that. Or let's say you're, in my case, in the restaurant industry, let's say you're a line cook, but now we need your help as a counter associate and help with guests. Be flexible and open-minded to helping wherever it's needed. And then maintain confidentiality. There's a lot of things that happen in a business, whether it's with a manager disciplining you or a guest saying something or whatnot. Keep it confidential because everybody has their expectations of you as an employee. So some safety, to work safely, you should keep in mind the following things. So follow all safety rules, use safety equipment and wear protective clothing when needed. Keep work areas clean and neat. Know what to do in an emergency situation. Report any health and safety hazards to your supervisor or manager. A great resource for every single employee is your employee handbook. You get it with every company job, and so that you get a copy to take home. Make sure you read it, and it's a great reference. If you're unsure where to find the materials, reach out to your manager. And so another thing is get experience. Little experience can go a long way. As I mentioned before, this might be your first job, or you might think it's just a job. This is a resume builder. This could be a stepping stone to a great future. So make sure that you're taking it very seriously. You don't want to be terminated for simple things like cell phone use or being to work on late or whatnot. So take it very seriously and build that experience. And getting some type of work experience as early as possible makes you a stronger job candidate for the future. So again, thank you for listening to all of us. We look forward to seeing you at the next job fair.
Thank you, Harry. So before we end this video for you students, I just want to reach out to any employer, parents, staff at Lowell High School who are listening and know of an employer who would be interested in joining us on April 16th at the Lowell High School Job Fair. And if you are an employer and are interested, please reach out to Beatrice Sierra. She can be reached at 978-805-4813 or beatrice.sierra@masshiregreaterlowell.com. And I just want to say a last bit of advice for students and anybody coming to the job fair is to come prepared, and also to come prepared to to learn off of each other. There are a lot of students that are going to be in the same room applying for different jobs. So why don't you go and ask some of these questions for your peers as well, and maybe you can help them. Maybe you saw this video and had some tips and tricks for your fellow students who didn't see the video. You know, just take to heart what all of these employers are saying, because again, these are hiring managers and they've been there, done that. So good luck to all of you looking for a job come April 16th. And I'm going to go to my colleagues here and see if they have any last minute advice. Brandie?
Yeah, I think when you interview, it can be very, you can get very nervous while you're interviewing. I think the most important piece of advice is just to relax and be yourself. Just answer questions honestly and be confident. And as long as you're yourself, you'll never go wrong. Katey?
So I think actually a few of us up here actually started in this industry in high school. So it's really exciting to go in and interview, and definitely projecting your best self is very important. So like Brandie said, being yourself and just all the aspects that go into it, like dressing for success and everything like that. So just be prepared and really try to present yourself the best that you can in the interview.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think my bit of advice is just like you said, just be yourself. Even at the interview, be yourself, be honest with yourself and your manager. Just say what you want to accomplish, and just focus on learning every day. Like you said, we started as high school students and we thought that it was going to be just a job, and now it's been 13, 15 years in this same job. So just do your best, always be on time, and always willing to learn more.
So my advice is have fun. Life is very short, and so you want to have fun, but obviously still take the job very seriously. But you want to have fun, learn, and listen to your employers and your managers. And all managers, even owners or whatnot, they all understand what you are going through in life and what you're experiencing outside of work. And so if you're having fun and being honest and open-minded, then you'll have a great time.
Well, thank you to all of our employers tonight for all your tips and tricks. And I hope that every single one of you watching this video is prepared for this job fair. Again, it is Thursday, April 16th from 3 to 5 p.m. at Lowell High School's main cafeteria. And if you have any questions at all, please contact Beatrice Sierra at 978-805-4813. Thank you so much. I hope you guys all have a good day.